Make sure to subscribe and click that notification bell if you want to get the videos as soon as they upload. YouTube, what up? Welcome back to another Pounds 978 custom video. And right now I want to talk to you guys about Patrick O'Hara, aka Web-Slinger, and his horse Widow from Earth 31913, I believe. Really cool design. Every time I seen it in the Spider-Verse comics, I thought it would be a cool action figure. Hasbro hasn't given us one yet, and someone asked me to commission this for him, and so we talked about the recipes and stuff like that, and he went out his way to send me the body, and I just sculpted the head, hair, face mask, and painted it pretty much. He did send me a horse, not this one in particular. There was one that was very similar. It was just a lighter shade, but I found it hard to paint those rounded joints at the knees and ankles, and so I went and got this one that was darker on Temu. Yep, my first time ordering from Temu. I paid 30 bucks for this guy. I think the original one was like 50, 40. Maybe I paid less, maybe like $25 for it. But it's the same horse. It just seems a little smaller than the original. So I don't know if this is a replica horse of the first one that I got, but it just seems like it's a little bit smaller than this one. This is the original one he sent me. The designs are very, very similar. The saddles are a little bit different. Like the saddles on the light one removes, and the other one really doesn't. But that's not the point. The point is that I couldn't paint this tan horse because of those rounded joints. I started painting the saddle, the tail, and the hair, but again, I just couldn't eliminate the paint rub from the rounded joints. So it was an effort, failed, no big deal. Found the other horse on Temu, but the first one I ordered actually came broken. The head and the neck peg was just busted off. No big deal though, because Temu offered to replace it, and I can keep this old one. Don't know what I'm going to use it for, so now I have these other two horses on the left and right for no reason. Probably make another Web-Slinger another day with a different recipe, and maybe be able to use one of these horses for Widow, which was fairly easy to make. All I had to do was just sculpt around the face and sculpt spider eyes, paint the mask. Also had to match the brown around the snout to the rest of the brown on the horse. And that was pretty much it. It's pretty basic. Also added some silver on the buckle and black on the straps on the face. That was it. Web-Slinger, aka Patrick O'Hara, made his debut in the Spider-Verse issue 4, I believe. A lot of different interpretations for this specific character. We wanted to go with this one, the more grittier look with the longer hair. And at first I almost didn't even sculpt the hair. I almost left it as it was, and I'll show you later on. But it's pretty cool. The body comes from a Star Wars body. Didn't know at first. He just sent it to me, and I was like baffled because it didn't come from a Marvel Legend. So we looked it up, and it came from a Star Wars body originally, but someone took the time to custom that and turn it into a Ghost Rider, which I found pretty strange because he must have bought a ton of the Star Wars bodies and then customized them in the Ghost Rider and then was selling them at a sort of mass-produced kind of thing. It was weird. Nonetheless, that's what we had to work with. Everything comes from that Ghost Rider body or that Star Wars body, except the head sculpt, the face mask, the hair tie, the hair, and the hat, of course. Now the hat comes off for the review, of course, but it's going to be glued on simply because it's hard to eliminate the paint rub on the forehead when you put on and take off the hat. It's just going to cause problems. But I did want you to see the hair sculpt under it, so that's the reason why it's off for now. This is a Wolverine hat from the Cowboy Wolverine. The head sculpt was a Kid Omega head sculpt, and I just added everything on: the hair, the head tie from Cyborg Spider-Man, sculpted the eyewear. The mask comes from silk, but the rest of it was sculpted on so it could fit the face. I think the sculpt blended in pretty well with silk scarf that's over his chin. The hair may not blend so well because some of it is sculpt and then some of it is Morbius hair pieces attached with glue and sculpt. But the point was just to get some of it to hang without it breaking. I use Abs epoxy sculpt, and so once that hardens, it's pretty much solid like concrete, and the thinner it is, the more fragile it is. And so I had to use Morbius hair pieces for the flexible parts that are gonna hang off of his ear and the back of his head. It may not be too noticeable on camera, but there is shading on the figure, and these are just some different colors that I used. A lot of similar colors, but different shades to bring out some of the darker tones. I was supposed to review this guy a while back, and I was happy with the way it was looking. You see it didn't have the hair along the sides of the back yet, and I thought that was pretty cool, and so did the guy who commissioned it. But I was sitting on it for a while, and somebody commented, and it was like, oh, but he's missing his long hair. And I knew that, and I was like, okay, fine. I'm gonna have to find a way to go back and do it. And so I went back, looked at some reference shots, and said, all right, cool. So I took a Morbius apart, used the hair pieces again for the soft parts, and then sculpted everything else on. But it is cool. You can turn the head and rotate it without any of the hair falling or breaking. Again, the hat won't be able to come off. It's going to be glued on to prevent any of the forehead paint chipping. And I could have also probably eliminated that. I could have just maybe sanded the hat in the inside a little more to make it bigger, but didn't want to go through all that trouble. I've had this for a long time. Been working on it for longer than I usually work on customs. Everything is rub free for the most part, so you can move this figure around. Because of the coat, it's going to be kind of hard to sit him on the horse. So most pictures, he'll just be holding the saddle or standing beside Widow, and that still looks cool. But I wish the jacket was a bit more flexible. That way you can get some cool poses on the horse. I was only able to capture one or two. Nothing really worth showing you, but that is Web-Slinger and his horse Widow. Pretty accurate, not exact, not mad at it. I would try again with a different recipe in the future, so I look forward to that. But what do you guys think about this one? What could we have done to make it better? And do you like this custom? If so, hit the thumbs up. Feel free to comment your thoughts and subscribe if you want to see more customs in the future. Peace.
But if you choose to subscribe, you the man. Yes, you. Everyone below in the comments, yes, you too. Thank you very much for showing me love. Who knew? It's ironic how we think out the box for you too, right?